Okay, I'm just taking it for granted that this thing up here, this camera thing up here, is recording me, and so this is me. I'm Murray Novachkov, right? Murray. That's Murray, and Novachkov. Well, that's spelled just the way it sounds. You see. So I carved these little things, you see, and let's see if I got one here. Oh, here's one. This is kind of a neat. See that guy right there? Can you see that fella? You can see there's still some knife marks in it, right? But you could sand those things away if you don't like them. You know, like I think I got one down here, don't I? Yeah, see this one? Focus, your mother. So yeah, so it's a little guy with a hat, right? You know, and you see how it's nice and smooth. Well, I sanded that with the sandpaper, but you could leave it in with the, see, oh, look at that. So that's the they're pretty much the same, you know, but one guy's been sanded and one guy ain't been sanded, you know. So I made something like this for my nephew, Abraham, and he says, "Hey, Uncle Murray, why don't you do one of them so I could see how you do it? You know, why don't you carve one like on the camera here?" And so I thought, yeah, sure, yeah, I could do that. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna carve a little something. We'll see what we got. I don't know what it's gonna be. Maybe it'll be something good. Maybe not so good. I don't know, cause I ain't no professional, you see. But this here, that's a stick of wood, right? That's just a stick of wood. And this is basswood, you know, and it ain't no fish wood, you know, you smell it. It don't smell like fish and you can't eat it, nothing like that. And it's real good for carving, you know. So, but this is just a test, you know, nobody ain't gonna see this probably anyway. So this is what I'll start doing, right? I'll mark where the feet are supposed to be, right? So the shoes are gonna be down like this. And that's about it's about a half an inch down from the top, just about, something like that, right? And you make a little mark, you know. So, you see that little mark? And then you just carry that around all the four sides like that. Shoomp. We'll do it over here. We'll go shoomp. And we'll do another shoomp like that. And you can, the shoomps are optional. You can shoomp or you can not shoomp. So, but anyway, that's just for my own entertainment, you know. The shoomping's not important. So I got the shoes. We'll make the hat like this. I do it at an angle. You see how I got an angle? And I'm making the brim of the hat, you see? So I do it at an angle so that the hat sits at a little angle. It makes it gives it a little character, you know? And so I'll go over there like this. Shoopy. You can make any sorts of sounds that you want to when you're drawing this stuff out. It's how I entertain myself, you know. And it makes it so that I don't stop talking. I don't know. Maybe you want me to stop talking because you don't like my voice or something. Because I can relate to that. If you don't like my voice, I can relate to that because I don't like my voice neither. My voice drives me crazy. And drives my sister Florence crazy too. But her voice drives me nuts too. So I'm carrying this around to make the little brim for the hat. Okay. You see how I got them lines all the way around it? That's gonna be the brim of the hat. And but then here, I'll switch over to this thing here, and then I'll come down, you know, about I don't know, 1, 2, 3/8, maybe something like that. I'm just kind of guessing by golly. This is the brim of the hat, and then you come down to make the nose as long as you want to make the nose. You see, he could have a real super tiny nose like this, or he could have a great big huge gigantic nose like that. But we're just gonna give him kind of a normal looking nose. And so you make a little line like that. And can you see that? Can you see how I made that little line right in there? See, that's gonna be the bottom of his nose. Okay. Then you can connect that to the bottom of his hat like that, and flip it over. Do the same thing. Do do do. And you see that? Can you? You see that? Now, I know it looks kind of blocky and kind of goofy, but this is just so that you can rough it out, you know. You got to start somewhere. Now, we're going to give this guy a mustache and a beard. I'm going to go like this, and I'll just kind of curve it like that, right? So, you see that? So, that's the corner of his mustache. And so he don't look too lopsided, you can do this. Watch. I can do that same thing, that little woo. And you carry that over to the other side, chunk. Then we'll bring the beard kind of like this. Can you see that? There's his nose, there's his mustache, and that bottom line down there, that's the bottom of his beard, okay? And then on the back side of him, I'm just gonna give him long hair. But not long hair like a girl or nothing. I mean, it's longer than I think a fella should have. And then we go in like this, and we go. And you see that? That's one of his arms. And the top right there, that's his armpit, right? And the bottom here, they're down at the bottom. We're gonna make another line over so it looks like he's got his hands in his pockets. Because I don't know how to draw no hands yet, neither. So we'll just put his hands in his pockets, and that way nobody knows the difference. That nobody knows that I ain't no good at doing this. But so you see that? Can you see that? There's his arm going down into his pocket, you see? But we gotta make the top of his pants too. Because this guy, you can't have no pockets if you don't got no pants. Like Adam and Eve, you know, when everything was perfect and they didn't fall down from grace yet, you know, they didn't have no pants, so they didn't have no pockets. But we want this guy to have pockets. And so the only way to give him pockets is to give him pants. Because if you had pockets and you didn't have no pants, then that sounds like that might be kind of painful, you know. Okay. So like this. And like I said, I'm just going by my eyeballs, you know. I ain't doing no measurements. I'm just kind of flying by the seat of my pants, as they say, as the kids say. Is that what the kids say? I don't think the kids say that. So we'll go like this. Shoopy. Okay, so you see that? Can you see that there? You see that line that goes across his belly? You know, that's the top of his pants, right? And he's got his hands in his pockets. See that? We'll give him a little tushy too. So now all them lines are roughed out, you know, and we're gonna start carving on him. So that's what we'll do. What do you think of that? Okay. All right. So here we go. I got this so far, right? And so what I want to do is I want to start cutting out his the brim of his hat. That's what I start with, the brim of his hat. And they got this thing, they called it a stop cut, where you go straight into the wood, right? I'll show you. Hold on a second. And you line it up with the pencil that you put on there. And then you kind of like push and kind of rock it in there, you know, so it goes in straight, like, right? Can you see how I went in like that? There's a cut like that, right? Now, you do this other thing, and you kind of go underneath it at an angle, and it pops that little piece out, you see? Oops, this little piece right here, pop that out. And now you go on the top side of it, and you do the same thing. Woogie, and you push in there real hard. Because, I mean, this is soft for carving, but it ain't like butter or nothing. You know, it's still wood, for crying out loud. And then that piece is supposed to just pop right out of there that you caught. So you got that little piece. You see that? Da-da-da. But so that is the beginning of the brim of his hat, right? So you do that all the way around it. And this don't take no 5 minutes, This takes a while to do this stuff, but it's fun. I think it's fun. It'll be so much more better when maybe I'll get 2 cameras. Wouldn't that be nice? Have like a close-up camera or one on the other side or something. So you could really see what I'm doing. Because this, you can't really tell what I'm doing. Because I ain't so good with the camera stuff. But you see that? I know it looks goofy. But that's them are the beginnings of a beautiful thing. That's just starting to pop that kind of thing out, right? Oh, yeah. Oh, I forgot about that. Because we want his hat to be round, too, right? So I'm going to kind of sketch a little roundage on the top. There, can you see that? How I just kind of guessing, by golly, that little roundness on there. And then you can go down here, and this is called a push cut. Here. See that? I'm using my thumb. Push. Push. And so I'm doing it like this to kind of bring them corners down so that the top of the guy's hat starts looking a little bit round. And you can kind of pivot it too, to kind of like you're shaving it. Okay, so I'm gonna do the nose now. Okay, you see how we're taking the wood away and it's starting to look like the top of the hat. But so now you see that the bottom of his nose. I'm gonna cut straight in. It's called a stop cut. I'm gonna cut straight in to the bottom of his nose. You see that? You see how I cut straight in like that? Now watch what I'll do. I'll do a push cut up to that stop cut, and boom, that little chip pops out, and that's the bottom of his nose, see? Right, but that still don't look like no nose that I ever saw. But what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna score the top of his mustache and make sure that my fingers aren't in the way. Because when you carve over like this, watch, I'll show you. Boom. See how the knife slips right off the edge of that? Well, you could slice your finger off if you get your fingers in the way. And that's why, even though you got a cut glove on, you still don't want to press your luck, See that? So I scored the bottom of it. So now I'm going to go straight in. I'm going to go straight in next to his nose. And then I'm going to cut up here under the hat and over the thing. I'll show you. I'm going to go straight in, kind of at an angle, and I'll go, whoa. Okay. See how I scored all around here? Now I'm going to slice up from the bottom of his nose without trying not to cut into his nose. I'm going to pop that little thing out. And you see that? You see how I popped that thing out? And that's starting to make his nose pop out. Got to be real careful because you don't want to carve into the side of his nose, because if you carve too deep into the side of his nose and you do that on both sides, then his nose is going to fall off. And who wants that, right? Okay, okay, can you see that? You see how I just carved a bunch of stuff out of there? And now his nose pops. So you got this is the side of his nose, and this is the side of his hair, and this is the top of his mustache, right? So that's starting to pop out. And you just keep doing that more and more. So I'll do some more of this stuff, and then I'll get back with you. Hold on. Okay, I did a little bit more in just a second here. You see how I've been carving that out? You put this is a little, excuse me, this is a little cork to make sure that, you don't poke yourself if you ain't paying attention. And then we got this thing right here. This is another kind of tool. And it's kind of like a chisel, sort of. And a real nice guy gave this to me. See that? It's like a little scoopy chisel, right? So, if I want to get into here, right, into these little spots, you can go in and you can go in here and like scoop it out. So can you see that? See how I got down in there deeper? Well, that's what you do with this little tool. I'll show you again. And then you can go the other way to get rid of them high spots. If your tool's sharp enough, remember you gotta keep all your tools super sharp. Going sidewise like a ninja. Okay. You see how, look at all of that. So I'm getting nice and deep in there, right? As opposed to that. So that's how you do that. And I'll do some more of that, and I'll come back to you. Okay. You see? You see how that's getting nice and deep, right? In like that. So now, I'm going to start going around the base of the hat, because I want to start carving down so I can start rounding off this square, because nobody wants a square hat, But that's okay, you can whittle it down as much as you want or as little as you want. You can have a square hat if you want a square hat. There ain't no law against that, buddy. This is still America. See how I started taking the corners off of the brim of his hat like that? And sometimes what I do too is I'll just go around and just kind of give like a scoring. Scoring something is like cutting it, but just not too deep, so you don't lose the pencil that you drew. And then I'm gonna score the back of his hair. And sometimes I give him like a little ponytail and stuff. Just because I don't know how to carve other things, I'll give him like long hair and make him look like a filthy, dirty hippie, And then I'll kind of use my thumb to push through the pocket. Padu. Then I'll use my little knifey to kind of block out his belt. This is kind of like making the lines permanent so that I don't lose them. Because I'm kind of smart, but I'm also stupid. Remember that? That is an Uncle Murray maxim that you should never forget. Yet, another one like this. Okay. There, look at that. See that? That's the mustache coming out. And then we'll do something kind of similar to the beard. Really kind of try to dig in there for the beard. That just sounded like I was a frog burping or something. And you just cut up to that stop cut that you made. And Viola, you see? There's the beard that's starting to pop out. The mustache and the beard. You see that? That's not so bad, huh? And you can make any noise you wanna. I don't think there should be no rules about what kind of carving noises you can make and what you can't, Like my buddy Steve, he thinks when you're in the bathroom, you should be able to make whatever noises you gotta make to get things done, And you just keep going around. And it really is like you're peeling a carrot or a potato or something. But if you want, you could practice certain things on a piece of soap, on a bar of soap. And it's real super soft. And then when you're done, you can wash your keister with it. And I'm just going round and round, round and round. See that? See how that's starting to pop out the top of the hat? or something. Well, I don't know what I'm saying. Nobody ain't gonna never see this, so it don't matter. Okay, so I did some carving, just by myself, so you didn't have to watch me do it, because you can't really see nothing on this camera yet. How I got how I got it all rigged up. But look, boom. See that? Let's see if I can get that. See that right there? And he's got his hair. And you can see the difference between his beard and his mustache and his hair, right? It's a real fun time, Now watch this. This is cool. I like this. Remember that thing? That tool? This thing? Yeah, da 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 da. This is the veiner, right? This is the V tool. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start doing the mustache. I'm putting the hairs in. Oh, I forgot to cut underneath his nose. Because then it's gonna look, if I don't do that, it's gonna look like he's got boogers. And if you want to make boogers on your guys, you can make boogers on your, but I don't want nothing looking like no boogers on my guys. So we take this little guy, this little thing right there, and then you just you push it real slow and you stop. Can you see that right there? You see how I made a little line right there? Now you do a whole bunch of them things, one right next to the other, and I'll show you. You go, and you stop, and you go, zoop, zoop, zoop. Sometimes when I go zoop, 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 makes me think of that song, that Shapoopy. Shapoopy, 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 the girl is hard to get. See? You make all them little lines in there like that. And then you do that on the whole thing, and then it looks like you got a beard and mustache. With the amazement of video editing, watch this, I'll speed it up. Ta-da-da, dee-dee-dee-dee. Alfredo, I judo. I don't want no hair. Can you imagine if these little suckers was alive? Oh, the horror. So that's what you do with this little tool. Okay, so that's it. So there you go. He's got hair on the back of his head. And he's got a beard and he's got a mustache. He looks a little bit like Abe Lincoln, doesn't he? Oh, hey, I never thought of that before. Maybe I could make Abraham Lincoln carvings. Hey, that's an idea, huh? So now, make it a stopper cutter. And make the cut deeper. And then I'm going to cut up to that stop cut. And kajoom. That thing comes right out. Kajoom, kajoom. I'll stop it again so you don't got to watch me doing something that you can't see in half darkness, So I'll be back in a minute. Hold on. Oh, I forgot to tell you or whatever you call it. But his hat here, I like his thinner brim now. But up the top part of his hat looks a little dull. So I think what I want to do, I'm going to put a big hat band on it. Okay. See, I can't tell if you can see, but there's a line all the way around his hat. Now watch. So, and then I'll just go like this, and I'm going to run my knife. I'm just going to push it, not lifting it up, and I'm just rotating it around till I meet the other side. Okay, you see that? Right? Now, I'm going to shave it down. So that thing I did when I dragged my knife all the way around, that's just like a big, long, continuous stop cut. So that I can shave down the sides like this. And it'll stop right at that mark that I put all the way around. I keep shaving. And then what it does, is that it makes this little hat band pop out. And it makes the hat look more interesting. I'll show you in a second here. But I kind of like start at the top and I scoop down so that it flares out the top of the hat. So it ain't just a straight up and down hat, you know, it kind of goes swoosh. And I think it makes it look more interesting. There. You see? Now he's got a big old hat band on there. So I'll carve some more of the body and I'll come back to you. Okay, so I've been sanding a little bit, you know, you see that? See, and you can see his tushy, you know, his hands are in his pockets, you know, and a lot of them knife marks, you know, and the little oopsies that I made, you can't see them because I sanded them away. And so what I like to do sometimes with these guys is I like to cut that off, like they lost the flap, and that you can see the skivvies underneath. And it's kind of funny, you know, it keeps them humble. Oh, look what I did. Look what I did. Look what I forgot to do. I forgot to put my cut glove on, didn't I? See, so I could have slipped and I could have cut my fingers off. And that wouldn't have been no good for me, I tell you that much, because I like my fingers. Well, come off. Come off of there. See that? See? See his little tushy sticking out of his pants. But he's got skivvies on. It ain't his bare tushy. I don't think you should, you know, you can expose a guy's skivvies, but exposing his tushy, I don't think that's no good. I think that goes too far. So I'm all done. I think I'm all done sanding it down. Can you see all of that? And I got his suspenders, and I got little buckles on his suspenders, a little thing on the back, and there's his little tushy. So, do you want to paint the guy? We'll paint the guy. What I like to kind of do is, and I like to shake the paint. And sometimes I just lick the paintbrush because I like the way they taste. So here we go. We're gonna paint our little fella. Oh, look at that. There's like a little glob of something in there. Maybe I'll just leave that so it'll look like a wart or something. Because remember, this is supposed to be fun, for crying out loud. So I kind of, when we used to paint rooms, we used to call that cutting in. You know, not like a dance. Yeah, I don't know what I'm saying. I don't know what the heck I'm saying. Partly because I really don't know what I'm doing. I'm just having fun. And that's what you should do. When you do this, you should have fun. There. See that? So now he's, that's brown, this, what you call? Excuse me. But I'll do this first. Just cause that's what I feel like doing, okay? So that's all. I'd like to get like a little, oh, would that be neat? I'd like to get a little camera that I can put on my magnifying thing that I'm wearing right now. So that way, everywhere I look, you'll be able to see it just the way I see it. Because it would help you. Then I don't have to stop and go, see, look at this. What do you think of that? When you can't see nothing because I'm a stupid goony face painting in the middle of the night in my truck. So I got the majority of it, see? So there's his hat and there's his beard. You know, nice blonde beard. Seems like a nice guy. So this is his blonde hair in here. Hey, Blondie. What are you doing? If you're really hurting for company, there ain't nobody around, you can get a little weird and talk to him if you want. You know, I would highly recommend you do it if you're sure that there ain't nobody around. Because if somebody comes around and you're like talking to this little sucker that you're painting, you know, and if you're using a weird voice or something, they might go like, what the heck is wrong with that person? So just have fun, but just keep an eye on what's around you so people don't think you're too weird. And like I said, don't worry about it if you screw up, because you can fix it. What's the main point of doing this? Fun. And so there it is. He's all, all of his hair is all done. What'll I do now? How about I just do the blue, huh? How about I do his pants? I'll do his pants now. Oh boy, here it comes. So this is fun business. Now I'm painting around his little tushy. Whoops. I got blue on his little tushy. Okay, so there's his pants, and you see his little tushy still hanging out there. Now we're gonna do the I'm getting kind of low on my red. Okay, so now I'm gonna do the rest of the red with the little tiny brush. Well, I don't know what happened. I was sitting here painting my little carving guy, and then the camera went kaflooey. You know, the camera went on the fritz and it stopped recording. So and I didn't know nothing about it. See, and so I just kept painting in peaceful bliss. Painting my little carving guy, and none of it got recorded. So you didn't get to see the end of it. Maybe that's something that disappoints you a little bit. Maybe not so much. Maybe it was like, oh, for Pete's sake, good grief. Boy, am I glad that we didn't have to sit through any more of that. I don't know. You got to tell me. I don't know what you like. So it is what it is, but here's the end result, the final product of what we did. So there he is. He's all done, and he's all dry, and I'll probably, and I gave him eyeballs too. Yeah. So he's got both of them. So that's that. I'll probably like wax him up a little bit, and sign the bottom of them, and that'll be that. So that's what I did. That's how I do it. You wanted to know how I carved the little guys? That's how I carved the little guys. So if you like that, if you had a good time, let me know about it. If you didn't have a good, if you didn't have a good time, and you say, you know what, if you're gonna do this, I wouldn't do it the way that you did it. Let me know that too, cause I gotta know. I don't know. I hope you enjoyed it, and thanks for watching, and I'll see you later. Okay, so that's it. There's no more. So goodbye. Bye-bye.